99X, it is the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie, Fram, you've heard me harping on getting your heart scan. You've heard it.
I've heard it, and it's important. That's all I have to say.
Check this story out. So I want to set up the story. The guy who runs virtual imaging, his name is Barry. And we met, 6 months ago probably. And he started at that job 9 months ago. So he starts at this job at virtual imaging. They have all these, fancy $1 million body scanners that can tell you a bunch of things. Everything
like a complete body scan.
Like everything you can imagine inside your body, which is great now because you know your roadmap of what's going on, including if you're going to have a heart attack, if your, arteries are clogged.
You'd want to know.
Right. So I meet him in the 99X conference room, and we're talking about it. And I was all over it already. I love this kind of thing, preventative health and all that stuff. So we're talking about getting scanned, and, it's like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to go do it. I had done it before, whatever. So he had been there just a few months. So he gets, into the job and just so busy, going crazy, and he just has no time for anything else. So he didn't get a scan. So then, fast forward, dude's healthy, super fit, works out all the time, mid-50s, and he decides to scan.
It's about time. Let me do the scan, right?
And so let's bring Barry on. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Is that an accurate setup of the situation?
Very accurate. Very accurate.
Okay.
I was 54 years old, worked out every day. Never my blood chemistry. Every year I would do my physical. Never had any issues with my cholesterol levels. All my blood work was always in the green.
Okay.
Never had any issue at all. Thought I was just a picture of health and was ready to live the second half of my life with no issues.
So then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Maybe I should do this because I'm here and I work for the company. So you did the scan. When did you do the scan?
Actually, about 8 months ago, I had my first scan. Maybe 9 months ago, it was about a month after I joined.
Okay.
And the next morning, my lead tech came into my office and put a report on my desk that shocked me. And what it showed was that my total calcium score was over 1,000.
Wow.
Perfect, what you want to be is 0. Yep. And even more concerning was the majority of that calcium, about 750 points of that calcium, was concentrated in my lower anterior descending. That's the LAD, which is also called the Widowmaker.
And so you could have dropped dead at any minute.
Wow.
Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't having any symptoms, of course. But to your point, absolutely. If that plaque had broken off, it could have caused a catastrophic, event, which could have killed me. What happens more often is you have that slow buildup, and and it becomes such a blockage that you do have a coronary event, or you die. And then so what I've been doing is I've been tracking that over the last 7-8 months, doing a lot of interventional stuff, traditional cardiology as well as functional medicine. And then about a month ago, we said, let's rescan. Let's see, if it's getting better. And I've gone from 1,000 to 1,500, and I've gone from 750 to over 1,000 in my LAD. Yeah. So, and then I actually, and then, then I will, to tell the truth, I've started having symptoms. I started having some chest pain. I started having some heaviness in my chest. Ironically, Barnes, it was never when I was working out. The only time I would feel those is if I was driving, let's say somebody pulled out in traffic, right, and you have that kind of scare. That's the only time I would have any kind of symptom. So, long story short, we decided that it was getting, dangerously, And so what we did was we did what's called a CT angiogram, right? So it's a similar test to what we do it at virtual imaging, except it is with contrast. And we did confirm that I had 70% blockage in that LAD. And at that point, you have to intervene.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so last week at 9 o'clock, last Thursday morning, I went into Northside and I had a snip put in that LAD.
What's crazy, you hear these stories, and because at first there were no symptoms, correct?
No, none at all. Zero.
You were just a healthy guy. And that's why, how do you really express to people to get this done, even though they may feel like I am a fit person, I eat well,
that's what's crazy.
I feel good, and then this happens.
Yeah, I would have been that 58, 60-year-old guy that was perfectly healthy and drops dead. That absolutely happened. Because the symptoms, I will tell you this, you guys, the symptoms I was having once I started having them were so subtle that if I had not been so close to this, I would have absolutely just chalked it up to, just being, a hypochondriac or just, stressful. I would have never taken those. I probably would not have taken those seriously.
Listen, the last thing we need is Morning X listeners dying, okay? We're just in double digits now, so we would like to keep everybody active.
Every single person.
Absolutely.
Barry, who listened way back in college or in high school? What was it?
Yeah, I left Georgia. I came up after Georgia Southern in 1993, and that's all I listened to was 99X.
Well, thank you.
Today.
And it's great to do business with you. And I think I've heard from so many people who have been in and had a great experience. They got their scan. It's free. You just mention the Morning X or mention my name, whatever, in there. Mention 99X, and they will do your heart scan. And you can bring a guest also. But Barry,
absolutely,
you pushed it. You're the guy at the place. And when you got told you had 1,000, why didn't you get a stent then?
Well, what you want to do is that once you find that out, you want to really do a little more digging to see, is that calcium in the artery? It could be on the outside artery. Is it causing an impediment to the blood flow? So you do need to do some follow-up testing to see exactly to what extent. So it's not an immediately you go right now. We do have Barnes. We have people that come in, no symptoms, they scan, and they'll have a score twice as high as me. Next day, they're at the cardiologist, and 3 days later, they're having a triple bypass. They're having a quadruple bypass. That does happen regularly. We've got those testimonials that happen. It does happen.
Barry, when you were experiencing some small symptoms, was it like you thought you were having an anxiety attack, or you just felt stressed? What were those symptoms?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like a pressure in my chest, and a slight bit of pain. And so, yeah, it was almost like if you get really scared, sometimes you'll almost have you feel like you're having a little bit of a panic attack.
Yeah.
It would be that sort of feeling, but it was never long lived. It would only be, for a few minutes at a time. And again, I would have, knowing me, I would have absolutely written that off had I not been in this career and taken this role, 10 months ago.
Gosh, if you hadn't taken that job, honestly, we might not be talking to you right now because you are fit and healthy. You look like you do marathons. That's just so crazy. That's
not hyperbole. We're not being dramatic. That's 100% true.
So what does it feel like? Tell people, I think, that maybe have forgotten, what are the main signs that you are having a heart attack? Like, what are they?
Yeah, so heaviness in the chest, pain in the chest, pain or shooting numbness in the arms, usually on the left side of the body, neck pains. Fever can also be a symptom. So you can any of those types of symptoms, you never want to take those for granted. You want to get help. Again, even if you think you're perfectly healthy, the scan when you come in, it only takes less than 10 minutes to do the scan. You'll usually get those results within a day or two. So it's a real easy screen.
The worst part of it is putting on your little paper towel bathing suit.
That's correct.
That's the worst part. All right.
It's simple and easy. And we're, and I will tell you that this is the craziest thing. Even up till last week before my procedure, Barnes, I still felt like day to day I had good energy.
It's crazy.
But the day after I came out of the hospital, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much this was impeding my life. Oh. I mean, my energy level's through the roof now. I mean, I do feel like I could go into it was immediate in terms of my recovery.
Well, glad you're okay. Say hi to Barry when you go by virtual imaging. You know the deal. You can get the free heart scan with your partner, wife, spouse, whatever. Bring them with you. Here's the number, 404-419-7787. And you can just say 99X, whatever. If you didn't catch that number, go to the Morning X page at 99x.com. You're almost like the hair club for men. You're not only the whatever, you're the, what is it? I'm a patient. I'm everything. All right, Barry.
Thank you so much.
It definitely saved my life, and I can't thank you guys enough for all that you've done for us in our business. Thank you so much.
No, it's great that we're saving lives, and especially ones that, we don't want them dropping off our show, like I said. So we need to keep everybody healthy. Go check out virtual imaging. Listeners. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, guys. Thank you both. Thanks, Mark, Leslie.
This is the Morning X. It is 99X.